In your exam, you may also be asked questions about the changing role of women in 1920s America. Essentially, during World War I, which ended in 1918, many women were engaged in doing war work. They were working in factories, working on the fields and so on. All the kinds of jobs that were required that had hitherto been done by men were now being done by women in order to support America as they fought in the First World War. As a result of them engaging in that war work, being part of that war work, they started to develop their own sense of independence. They were given more money, and that meant that they no longer needed to rely on men. This is not all women, of course, but there were large numbers of women who were starting to become more independent. In 1920, the 19th Amendment to the Constitution was made, and that gave women complete or full suffrage in exactly the same way as the men, so they were now allowed to vote. As a result, you started to get many independent women who were around in America in the 1920s. They were often referred to as flappers, partly because of the new revealing fashions which they were prone to wearing. They were doing things which were not normally expected of women, so you would often find women now smoking and drinking, whereas previously they hadn't. They started to engage in leisure activities, the kinds of activities that were normally exclusively reserved for the men, so they would be going out in the evening and drinking. You would find them at sporting events, going to movie theatres, and ultimately this change starts to change Western attitudes towards women, and it, if you like, sees the birth of modern women in Western society.